That's your traffic for the Voice Radio Network.
Brian Stelter.
Hi, Brian's here.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, Brian.
It's Bill Baker and Jessica, Power 1017 in Ocean City, Maryland. How are you?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Yes, welcome.
Last year was the first year in 30 years I haven't been to OC. Damn pandemic.
Right. Well, come on. Hey, we're open. We're back. Let's
We
go.
I'm
welcome
going to get it back on this year. I'll be back.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, are you? I know you know with CNN. Are you guys in Atlanta? Or are you in New York?
We are still based in Atlanta, but I'm in New York.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
very good. I'll always wonder like where you guys are at while I'm watching. So, look, first off, welcome. We appreciate you checking in. The hoax. That's what we got to talk about. Give us a rundown. You know, I mean, we like to keep it down the middle here as far as politics go, you know. But I know, you know, there's a lot going on in the paperback edition of The Hoax. So give us the rundown. Tell us exactly what it's about.
Well, I had to rewrite this book because so much changed after I came out with the hardcover edition last August. Back then, we didn't know who was going to win the presidential election. We didn't know there were going to be all these lawsuits about the election. And we didn't know that there was going to be a riot at the Capitol. So I've rewritten the book and added 12 new chapters to look at the Fox News presidency. That's really what I think the Trump years were. The Trump presidency was also the Fox News presidency. You know, for the first time, we had a president who was really glued to the TV, learning from Fox, getting information and ideas from Fox, and even making decisions based on what he was hearing on the television. CNN or MSNBC or Fox, is this going to be the new way of the world? Or was Trump a once-in-a-lifetime sort of moment in terms of the American presidency? So that's what I explore in the book.
How was, like, I mean, being in your position during the last 4 years, honestly, because it was the way that people, you know, look at or I guess become connected with, like, the president and it just everything changed over the past 4 years as far as, like, the media goes. How was it being in your position over the past 4 years? I mean, was it nothing you've ever experienced? I mean, it just seemed like a whole new world over the past, like everything changed, you know?
The first word that comes to mind is tiring. I am a native Marylander. I was happy to be heading down to the shore every single year, at least until the pandemic. And I remember the weekend that I was trying to have my normal Ocean City vacation with my family in 2015. This was when President Trump had then candidate Donald Trump had just entered the race, and nobody knew whether to take him seriously. So I'll tell you what I tried to do that weekend to get a vacation in. I tried to pre-tape my Sunday show. I tried to tape it on Friday, head down to the beach, take the weekend off. But then, Saturday night, there was some Trump-related scandal. So Sunday morning, I'm in the car, driving as fast as I can to try to get to the Bay Bridge, try to get back to D.C. to do my show live.
Wow.
I remember being on the phone with Sean Spicer that morning, trying to talk to him, who then became the press secretary, trying to talk to him about what had happened, trying to get his read on the situation. I think that is, in a nutshell, what the Trump years were like for me. There was no more pre-taping. In fact, we stopped even trying to tape the show in advance.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, a couple of times I had the satellite truck come with me on vacation.
Right,
to just do
right.
The show on vacation. Like that I think is the Trump years in a nutshell.
Well, look, I mean, it just seemed like no matter what side of the aisle you were on, there was always something every day with the press. Whether it was, you know, you and him going back and forth, whether it was something with a line of questioning, whether it was there's a press conference getting ready to be held, whether it just always seemed to be chaos every day. With the
chaos is definitely the right word for it, and I think getting some of that chaos to be cooled down, getting that temperature to come down, is a good thing for everybody involved. Most importantly, for consumers, for the people listening right now. The media should not be the story every day. Look, and I'm saying that as a media reporter. So I have a show on CNN Sunday mornings. It's an hour about the media. But my view is, okay, great, you do an hour. But we shouldn't be talking about the media for 24 hours. We shouldn't be talking about the media every day.
All right, well, let me ask you honestly. When President Trump was in office, I mean, it was no, you know, secret that he had a big war going on with you guys, you know, CNN.
Right.
Not only just the media, but particularly CNN and MSNBC, but CNN. Did that boost you guys' ratings?
I don't think that was a direct, reason why the ratings were up. But yes, interest in politics was up. Interest in Trump was certainly high. Interest in what was going on was certainly high. Interest in the resistance to Trump was certainly high. I don't think him tweeting about CNN or Fox actually changed the ratings in a literal way, but I think he created more interest in politics more broadly. He created more interest in the fight over the future of America.
So
That's
more entertainment. It was a lot of quote unquote entertainment, right? I mean, that's
well, some people view it that way, but I certainly didn't think it was entertaining. I mean, as a TV anchor, as a news anchor, I want to be the opposite of that. But yes, I do see how people viewed it as entertaining and how actually it brought new people into politics, right? It brought people, think about the fact that in 2020, we had record turnout in the election. It shows that people were newly motivated to care about politics.
What was your first... I mean, I know you said about the story where you had to rush back and, cover things, but... I mean, it's no secret that you and, that administration did not get along. I mean, when I see, as soon as you come on TV or as soon as you would come on TV, I'd know right away that you were upset or pissed off or about something that happened with the Trump administration. I mean, that's a perception that I got. And what would be like, do you remember like what the first thing that happened was that you were like, you know what I mean?
Well, I remember February 2017, a few weeks into the Trump presidency, when he called all the major television networks enemies of the people for the very first time. And that's a really hateful comment. No president should talk about the media that way. And I remember saying to a White House aide, what is he doing? What are you doing? What are y'all doing over there? Mm-hmm. It's beneath the presidency to attack the media in that way that can cause death threats and cause hate. But look, I think that's very much in the rearview mirror now. Whether Trump runs in 2024 or not, maybe some of that vitriol will come back. But right now, it's notable how different politics feels. I think. I mean,
it feels different.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, hands down, it's like a whole different. I mean, it's a whole different time. It seems like the world has changed. You know what I mean? Over the past, even though there might not be that much change yet, but it seems like over the past 100 days, over 100 days, like everything has calmed and changed. And people are, and I know we're just getting over the pandemic, so that's a whole nother thing. But it just seems like things are kind of definitely calmed down. Definitely calmed down.
Let me put it this way. I don't want President Biden calling Fox News the enemies of the people. I think that would be inappropriate as well. So for me, it's not about policy. If you thought I looked pissed off on TV, it wasn't about policy differences. It was about a sense of decency and norms. And I think, frankly, I think Fox ultimately hurt Trump. I think his wars with the media ultimately hurt him. Maybe he would disagree. I'd love to hear his view on it. But I think people don't want to hear about that stuff all day. Well, they want to hear about how the president's making their lives better.
Well, normally, let's be honest, people look at the media and say, CNN, MSNBC for the Democrats, Fox News for the Republicans. That's the way that I think the average Joe views different 24-hour news channels. So, but towards the end there, Fox News, Trump was bashing Fox News. They had like something going on.
Well, I think he always wanted more propaganda and less news. But here's what I would say about CNN being perceived as liberal or with the Democrats. We have to hold, and we are holding Biden and Harris and the Democrats accountable.
I will give you props on that. I will give you props on that. I have seen some tough questioning with, President Biden and Kamala Harris recently.
Well, that's what we got to do. And if you feel like that's not happening, you got to call us out. That kind of criticism, as long as it's constructive criticism, I think it makes the media better. But that's the job, even if it's not pretty, even if people don't always like it, that's the job. It was certainly more heightened and more dramatic in the Trump years, but I think that job's never going to end.
I know we're running out of time, but I got two quick things. And then, of course, we'll mention the hoax one more time. But what's your view on these new networks popping up? OWN and America, what is it? America?
One America News.
One America News.
Newsmax.
Yeah.
They are pressuring Fox News from the right. They're creating competition for Fox from the right, and so I added a few new chapters and hoax about that.
Okay, all right.
Nice.
So it's in the book. Very good, very good. And I was going to say, has that hurt you guys at all? Probably not.
I think competition is usually a good thing as long as it's reality-based, truthful competition. when you've got conspiracy theory TV out there, that's not a good thing.
Well, real quick,
there's so many.
Real quick, I got to ask you because I think a lot of people got caught up in the whole QAnon, hoax.
Right.
Hoax. Let's just call it what it is.
Yes.
And that stuff is still going on, but I do think it's calmed down. Do you agree?
Yes, it has calmed down because all those predictions have turned out not to happen.
Exactly.
If you get bamboozled 10 times, you're right to start to rethink your sources. We should all look for reliable sources.
Brian Stelter, when can we watch you on CNN?
CNN Reliable Sources, Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully someday live from Ocean City.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, hey, when you come to Ocean City, you got to listen to Power 101.7, and hopefully maybe we can bring you in studio. A paperback edition of The Hoax, where can we pick it up?
Buy wherever books are sold. Buyhoax.com.
Anywhere. Hey, appreciate you, my man. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Time for a quick recharge.